All right, so now we have some moon phases. If you've already done the extra credit, you have a little bit of head start on this. All right, so moon phases. The moon has a rotation or spin time of 27 days. And it has a revolutionary time, that means orbiting Earth, of 27 days. Because those two numbers are the same, there is one side of the moon that always faces Earth and one side that never faces Earth. And that's where you got the term the dark side of the moon, because we never see the far side. We always see the front side or the face, the man on the moon. That's the side we always see. All right. So there are a total. Well, okay, because it goes around the Earth, we see phases of the moon. And there are a total of 8 phases of the moon. Phases are caused by the moon's revolution. Remember how I said there's a difference between rotation and revolution? This is the difference. Rotation means spinning. Revolution means orbiting. Okay? Two very different things. Make a note, something to remember the difference. One of my past students said, think of revolution kind of like a resolution, like what you make every New Year's once a year, because it takes one full year to go around. Revolution around the Earth. The position of the moon and the Earth's line of sight to the moon and the sun. That's how we got the phases. Because where we are, how we see the moon and where the moon is compared to the sun for us. Okay? It takes approximately 29.5 days to go through all of these phases. Well, why the heck? Well, that's because it starts right here, and as it's going around, you would think it would end right there at 27 days. But it doesn't, because remember, we're spinning, we're rotating, and we're revolving around the sun. Meanwhile, the moon is also spinning and rotating around us. So it makes a nice delicate balance for both the moon and us, making it roughly 30 days. So because the Earth is also orbiting the sun and it changes angles, because remember, we're tilted at the 23.5-degree angle, it makes it longer to go through the cycle. So it's kind of like the moon has to play catch up just to get back where it was to start. So the first moon phase is called the new moon right here. So there's the sunlight. Here's the new moon. In this phase, you see none of the moon because the sun can't reflect off of anything. It's actually, in a way, blocking the sun, but not really, depending on the time. We're going to get to that next lesson. And the next phase, as you can see, is waxing crescent, which means it's getting bigger. And you see about a quarter of the moon. That's where you see, like, you've heard of crescent rolls. It's kind of like, you know, the little sliver of a circle. That's crescent. And here's my terminology to remember waxing. So I wax on with my right. If you've ever watched The Karate Kid, the original one, wax on with your right. After that, you see the first quarter. Now, why is it a quarter? Remember, again, we don't see half the moon. So of the half the moon that we see, we only see half of that, which is 1/4 of the moon. So the first quarter is where you see half of the moon on our side. Like we only see half of the half. Then it is waxing gibbous, where you see 3/4. So I know this is kind of corny, but if any of you've seen iCarly, you saw Gibby. And Gibby always likes to show his stomach. So I think I'm seeing like a big part of his stomach, only a little bit shaded. That's what gibbous is. And then you get the full moon where we see all of it, or our half the moon. And then we head back down and we got waning. So remember I said wax on with your right, wave off with your left. That's how I remember the two difference. Left is waving or waning. Wax on with your right, waxing. All right? And so waning is getting smaller. And again, you get to see a big size of it. So I always think a gibby. So gibbous. There you see again 3/4, but it's going back down, which means the right-hand side is now starting to get darker. So on the waxing side, the left is darkest. On the waning side, the right is the darkest. And then you have the last or third quarter moon, where you see half the moon. And then the last phase is the waning crescent, where you see a quarter. Again, remember, it takes 27 days to go through all the phases. In reality, for us, it takes 29.5 days to see all of the phases. All right, so you have a project you're going to be doing. It's like a project lab. It's going to take you a little bit of time. Make sure to follow the directions. And if you need more detail on this, please do the extra credit Bill and I. Besides that, don't forget to hop on Zoom with me once a week. And I hope you guys have a great day.